Welcome! We are about to go on a really fascinating journey into an idea that is pretty mind-bending. The idea that reality isn't just some random, chaotic thing. Instead, what if it's all built on a kind of metaphysical blueprint? A hidden architecture that guides everything, from the vastness of the cosmos right down to our own consciousness.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if there was an actual manual that didn't just explain how reality works, but also how your consciousness is designed to evolve and plug into the whole cosmic grid? Well, that's the massive idea we're going to unpack today. So, here's the plan. First, we're going to define what this cosmic operating system really is. Then, we'll trace its history, which is described as a river of ancient wisdom. We'll also meet the modern bridge builder who's making it all accessible today. From there, we'll get into how you can activate your own divine blueprint, and finally wrap it all up by understanding the ultimate goal, becoming a co-creator. Okay, so what in the world is this metaphysical blueprint? Is it just some nice abstract philosophy? Not quite. The way it's described, we should think of it more like the fundamental software, the operating system, that's running the entire universe.
Yeah, a cosmic operating system. And that's not just a cool-sounding phrase. It's pointing to a very real set of rules, patterns, and energetic structures that govern absolutely everything. But here's the most important part. This isn't some old, dusty book you just study. It's a living, dynamic guide for our own evolution. Now, if this blueprint is so foundational, you have to wonder, how did it survive for thousands and thousands of years? How did it get to us now? Well, the answer isn't something you're going to find in a museum or a library. The key is this concept of an unbroken lineage. The best way to picture it is to imagine a river that's been flowing without stopping from some ancient pure source. The world around the river changes completely, but the water itself stays pure. In this analogy, that river is the lineage, and the water is the sacred knowledge passed down energetically from person to person through time. And this is a really important distinction to make. Academic study, that's about reading old texts and absorbing information. But in this esoteric tradition, the knowledge is passed on through a direct, personal transmission of energy. It's less like reading a recipe and way more like a master chef standing beside you, guiding your hands, letting you feel when the dough is just right. It's totally experiential. So, how is this direct transmission kept so pure? Well, it's a whole system. You've got the oral tradition, whispering the wisdom from master to student to keep its energetic quality intact. You have rituals and ceremonies, which are described as energetic technologies that actually anchor specific frequencies into a space. Then there are formal initiations, which are designed to awaken a person's dormant potential. And finally, you have living masters, who act as the living, breathing conduits for all this wisdom. I just love this analogy from the source. It really hits home. It's not just a historical record, it's alive. It's almost like having a high-speed, spiritual internet connection that plugs you directly into the source code of this ancient wisdom. So who's the IT guy for this spiritual internet today? Who maintains that connection in our modern world? Well, this brings us to a really key figure in this lineage, a modern bridge builder. And that's Gudni Gudnason. The material presents him not as some guru who's making up new things, but as more of a system architect. His job is described as being a bridge builder, someone who takes these incredibly powerful, ancient teachings and makes them understandable and usable for us right now. The key thing is, he doesn't invent, he reactivates codes that are said to already be sleeping inside of us. And here's a quick look at some of his major contributions. For instance, he brought forward universal Kabbalah, not as a religion, but as a universal map, the tree of life, for anyone's spiritual journey. He also made ancient rituals from the King Solomon lineage accessible for personal growth. And he introduced a core modality called the life activation, which we're going to talk about in just a second. You see the theme, right? It's all about providing real, practical tools for self-mastery. Okay, so this brings us to the really crucial part. This is all fascinating theory, but how does this ancient blueprint become a living, breathing reality for you or me today? So, what's with the number 22? Well, it's at the heart of that tool I just mentioned, the life activation. The idea here is that just like we have physical DNA, we also have spiritual DNA. And this specific modality is said to light up and work with 22 of those spiritual strands. The whole purpose of the life activation is to awaken these 22 strands.
It's meant to reconnect you to what these teachings call your original divine blueprint. The goal is to clear out all the energetic junk that's built up over time and turn on the parts of your potential that have been dormant. As the source says, it's literally like flipping the master switch for your life's purpose. And that life activation is really just the beginning, the big turning on point. After that, there's a whole toolbox for integrating this new energy. You've got things like meditating with secret geometry, which are seen as the literal building blocks of creation, or studying Kabbalah, or learning really practical techniques for what's called energetic hygiene, which is basically just how to manage your own aura and chakras. And you can start to get a feel for this right now. The source offers these simple exercises called the Dragon Trials. Just try this. Hold your palms a few inches apart and see if you can feel the energy between them. Or, next time you're outside, look for universal patterns like spirals or hexagons in flowers or shells. Or just take a moment to think about the gifts and strengths passed down from your own family, your ancestors. This is how you start to make the unseen seen. So, what's the end game here? What's the ultimate purpose of all this work? Where does this path of activation and all these tools actually lead? The ultimate goal is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. It's to shift you from being a passive observer in your own life, feeling like things are just happening to you, to becoming an active co-creator. It's about taking the driver's seat and understanding that you have a direct hand in shaping your reality.
And the benefits that are said to come from walking this path are very real and tangible. We're talking about more clarity, a stronger sense of purpose, a seriously enhanced intuition, and way more resilience. I mean, when you understand your own energy, you can navigate life's challenges without getting completely knocked off your feet. It's all about leading you to a place of empowered creation and a much deeper connection to the divine. So now that you've had a peek at this blueprint, the question really is for you. Are you going to continue on as a passive observer, or are you ready to pick up the tools and become the architect of your own reality? Because it seems the instruction manual is waiting.